Network with your host, Sean Myrie. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Excuse me, just smoking a little spliff. But this episode is called the Toronto Music Scene, right? How's it going and the current state? For the last 15, 16 years, we had a big star, or well, we have a big star, Drake, right? Hate to bring up his name back, but he brought the spotlight more to the city. Urban music been around from way before Drake, but I'm just saying he brought the spotlight to the city for over 16 years. Weekend also and Tory Lanez, but Drake is the one what stands out the most. And ever since, right, his success, you would think that besides making people know where he's from, putting the city on the map, and it's not him, it's not his responsibility, but you would think other artists, other people would take, like, basically, take advantage of that, right? You would think so. Some did try to, but it's not enough. The Toronto, I'm talking about urban music scene, I should more likely say. Urban music scene. The other genres a little bit different. But I'm talking about the Toronto urban music scene in regards to hip black music, hip hop, R&B, whatever. Like right now, how the scene is going. Got a lot of great talent. We got a lot of great talent. Been seeing that for a while, right? Even ever since we started doing this platform, over 6 years, seeing a lot of talent, a lot of great artists, right? A lot of talent, a lot of great artists. But the only thing what's probably keeping a lot of them back, right, is business. Knowing they have the music, but they don't know the business too good. They don't know how to network. So that's what's hurting. You got the music down. A lot of artists from Toronto, they got the music down pat. Great talent. You got a lot of it. What's keeping us back? First of all, there's no unity, right? That's number one. And number two, like, just knowing the business. No one's doing any shows, right? And that's money. The amount of artists that are from Toronto, and there's a lack of shows. And I'm talking about the so-called big artists from the city, the so-called biggest ones with the biggest, what is called, the fan bases locally. What's going on? What I mean now, it's not COVID anymore, right? And everybody wants to go into the market. Everybody wants to go to America. If you're from Toronto and you're an artist, you should want to go, because if you do go, you're gonna benefit off of networking. You're gonna benefit of being known to a bigger audience. So, what is really going on ever since Drake kind of brought the spotlight? Well, he did bring the spotlight to the city, and more people. I don't. I think a big percentage of people didn't take advantage of that. Some people are right now, but not enough people took advantage of that, of Drake's energy, or Weekend, or Tory Lanez. They kind of took advantage of it, if you want to call it like that. Like Pressa, right? He had his own thing going, but still, like, he took advantage of Drake's spotlight. Every artist that's kind of known has a connection to Drake that's from Toronto. Even the Weekend, right? And Weekend is with Nav. So, like I said, anybody in the last 15 years or so, who's known from Toronto is because of Drake. So what's going on with the Toronto music scene? What is going on with the Toronto music scene? No unity, no business, no networking, and that's what's hurting because there's a lot of names I could put out there, right? Some names is controversial, some names maybe there's something else what's stopping them from blowing up. We got Mula, he's all over the internet. He's known in Toronto. Still waiting to see some shows come out of him. Um, Mula's a name, right? Pressa's a name. I didn't see a show yet come in Toronto from Pressa and his brother Bundog. Casper TNG, he's doing shows other places. I don't remember. I never heard of a show being done in Toronto from him. He got top five, even if he's controversial. He says he's an artist. I haven't heard of any place in Toronto book him for a show or he has a show performing. Think of this. You gotta think of it. This is something big people want to look over. Most of these artists I'm talking about who have the biggest respect online and in videos, and they say they're artists, you never seen them perform in Toronto. Majority of them. There's other artists, I don't know what you call them, right? Who do perform in Toronto. They do have some like a fan base, but they're not getting talked about a lot, right? For example, there's Havaya, right? She has a fan base. She's pretty big in Canada, even won a BET award, but no one is putting her out there like she should be like a Drake in regards to like she shouldn't even be in Canada. Basically, she shouldn't even be here right now. She should be doing a campaign in America, right? Um, Most of the artists, their excuse is they have a record, so they can't like maybe they have charges, so they can't even go to America. That shouldn't be it. But there's other people without records who are good, right? There's artists out there without criminal records from Toronto who are out there, but they're not getting pushed as much as these others. I guess the op rappers, the ones who talk about a lot of street shit, the ones who talk about a lot of the ratchet shit, whatever you want to call it, are the ones that get attention on the blogs. Or they pay for the blogs too, right? So that's what's going on in the Toronto urban music scene. There's shows going on. People are putting on shows, but it's not the ones. Most of the time, it's not these big Toronto rappers that are performing. The so-called ones that are promoted on all the blogs in Toronto. Those are not the ones, right? So what's going on is people are talking about infrastructure for the city. It could happen. Need investment. So who's gonna invest? Yo, it looks like Weekend is a good investor. He likes to give, right? So, or I don't know if Drake will do it or somebody else will do it, but they have. I'm gonna be straight up, people, no filter. They have the money that they could start facilities for arts or something like that. They could help the artists more than what they're doing now. Trust me. Trust me, they could help the artists more than what is going on right now. Must be some politics in the way. But look at it. There's a ton of artists in Toronto, and that it doesn't equal up. There's so much talent, but so little what's shown. There's a lot of talent, but little that's shown. For the guy who doesn't get the blog post, doesn't get the interview, but he has good music, those ones get overlooked a lot. It's not even a balance. So if they're getting overlooked a lot, shit, it's a big struggle, trust me. And you're in Canada already. You're already in Canada, but like I said, Drake, Tory Lanez, and The Weeknd, people should have taken more advantage of that from Toronto. People are using the six. People are using Drake a lot. I have to admit, a lot of people have been using Drake a lot with the six for a good while for Toronto. But Toronto had its own thing before Drake, right? So what happened is I think we lost our identity, or Toronto lost its urban music identity for a while. Lost it for a while. We were following mostly Drake. Nothing wrong, like respect to Drake, but that's what happened. I felt we lost our identity for a while, and we were just watching what Drake was doing and forgetting the quality of artists we have here. But now I'll be no filter. The artists who they're pushing, if it's supposed to be hip hop or whatever, even rap, is low quality. The majority is not good quality. And I'm not talking about the studio in regards to like, and I could say this confidently, subject matter. In regards to lyrics, bars, right? There's people out there with it, but it's not a balance. The majority is you're not hearing that shit. And I could say that. You have to dig for that. If you want artists with bars and lyrics, skills from Toronto, you're gonna have to go dig for that. But what you'll see, because they pay for the blog spots or whatever post, or the blogs will have a relationship with certain artists, you'll see the ones that not necessarily have to be very skilled in the lyrics. They just have to have, I guess, content, or you get what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be s- anything special. You get what I'm saying? So the music will get promoted as long as they pay, or they're pushing something. They're pushing an agenda of a certain type of music. What has only gets, I guess, posted or recognized, because the majority of the time, Toronto urban music right now, they're promoting like violence. I could say that right now confidently. The majority of urban music from Toronto is pushing mostly violence. You could have urban music and it doesn't have to be violent. It could be R&B, it could still be hip hop, but it doesn't really have to be violent. You get what I mean? It's meaning that it doesn't have any, you know, violent lyrics talking about, like, guns, knives, assaulting people, right? So that's what's the popular shit to post. Ain't no love songs anymore getting posted. Not too much. You ain't hearing no love songs, no R&B shit. You're not hearing none of that. So if you ain't doing something what's close to that energy, that negative energy, they ain't gonna put you on any blog, really. They ain't gonna post you, really. No, that ain't gonna happen. So that's what's kind of hurting the scene, because it's not versatile. The scene is not versatile because there's an agenda, kind of like a self sabotage. No one in America wants to hear no Joe rappers really coming out of Toronto. And let's be straight up. What market are you trying to appeal to? Ye- Yeah, just Toronto? No, you're trying to appeal to a big audience because you're an artist, unless you're calling yourself just a Toronto artist. You're trying to when you're doing music, you're trying to appeal, and there should be some balance. Even if you do have some violent music, it shouldn't all be violent. You get what I mean? Because the market don't want to just hear one thing. But coming from Toronto, trying to do that now is like you're trying to convince people how hard you are and shit like that. And not everybody's gonna believe that coming out of Canada, even if some people do go through that shit. So the market for that is in America. So if you're doing something like drill music or something like that, hopefully you don't have a record. You should be going to America to network. You need to be going to Hollywood, to New York, especially New York. I think you'll be going to New York. If you're a Joe rapper from Toronto, what's close by? New York. That's the places you shouldn't even be here in Canada. Most of you, if you are artists, and people say no, it's hard and shit. If you're an artist from Canada and you could get a passport, especially if you're from Toronto, and you can get a passport, I have to give respect to Pressa. That's what they do. You don't stay here all the time. You're not supposed to be here really. If you're a real artist, full-time artist, and you're making money from your art, you're not even supposed to be in Canada all the time. You should be going out on vacation for like 3 times a year, at least 3 times a year. You're an artist, even in America, no matter where you are, you should be out of your country at least 3 times a year, no matter where you are in the world. You know why? Because when you leave out of your country, and just say you got a buzz in Germany, you got at least 20,000 listeners in Germany, right? You know at least 5,000 people out of the 25 will go to a show somewhere in a city in Germany. And that could be like you could have a couple cities. Say if you have at least 8 cities, 8 cities with at least 20,000 people. I mean, or whatever, the country or whatever. You got like 20,000 people who listen to you and constantly, right? Those are the places you're going to go. You, as an artist, no matter where in the world, you should have a passport that you could travel. That's all that's the key for an artist. Besides your own place where you are, you already conquered whatever country you're from or city. That's what Drake did. Drake is from Canada and he conquered here. First, he had to come through here. He actually came through here, but he had his link to America. That's the card what he got, right? People don't want to say that. Like, yeah, he has talent and shit, but because he has a father who's American, that kind of helped him more than the average Joe. He had a father who was American. So he already visit America already. He knows the market down there. And he learned that better than anybody from probably Toronto. That's what he used. His father's American and he went to America as an artist. You have to do that shit. That's the market, man. People from Britain, UK, they've been doing that for years, from the 50s or so. The Beatles. Remember the Beatles, a lot of rock bands are English born Englishmen. A lot of those rock bands. So they're doing the same thing what I'm saying right now. They were big in their own country and they left. So Toronto artists, right? If you want to get to another level, you got you got to network in America. It's the only way. More. Yeah, you can use social media and stuff, but you got to go to America. You got to network your stuff even to American platforms. Yeah, there's the Six Buzz, there's all these others in Toronto, but you want to market your music. That's another thing. It takes money. No one's doing anything for free. So you gotta invest and market your music more than where you are. Once you if you do that, you might see something coming through. More listeners, right? More interest. You got to invest in yourself as an artist. Drake got that. That's why Drake's big. His mother was helping him. Drake's mother was helping him financially. It's like he tried hockey, right? That didn't work. He got hurt, right? Then he tried acting. That kind of worked for a while. He didn't really like it. So then he went on to music. And then now look, that's what happened, man. The man wanted to be a hockey player. That didn't work, got hurt. And then the acting, that worked for a while. And then he wasn't satisfied with that. Then he done the music and he became big. But guess what? The connections, America. So Toronto artists, there's a few like Northside Benji. He's smart. I like him. Like I think he's one of the best right now. I think he is the best Toronto rapper, Northside Benji. And there's a guy named The Crook, him too. I'm gonna give it to him too, The Crook. But those two guys are the ones standing out more than all of them right now. That could get that American push. Americans will listen to them, will watch their videos and shit. Yeah, Northside Benji and The Crook. Those two guys. Sorry about the rest. Like I know there's a lot of great talent, but those two guys stand out. The Crook and Northside Benji. There's a lot of other great talent, but those guys, their videos, that's the key. Quality, right? Casper TNG, yeah, him too. But he has a lot of conflicts. That's But Toronto music scene, urban music scene, where is it going? The only way it's gonna go somewhere, I feel, is unity. People have to really start to work with each other. It's been too long, people haven't been working. No unity. So that's the main thing what's killing us. Trust me. If you want to be really influential in this game, especially as a city, like how they have Atlanta, New York, and LA, need a little bit more unity, man. You don't all have to be best friends, but you got to start to work together because there should be shows every week, every 2 weeks at least. There should be Toronto artists who are so called big that get the most spotlight should be doing shows in their own city, not other cities, but their own city. And if you can't do that, man, that means you're not gonna have a long career. If you can't do shows and you can't travel, you're not gonna have a long career. You're gonna get the local money and but the streaming thing will go down slowly. What happens if no one listens to you anymore as much? So you get the royalties and shit, but you know what I'm saying? You basically have to clean up yourself. If you really want to go to the markets where you can make some money, you have to travel and you got to go to the mecca of urban music in America, right? So, yeah, the Toronto music scene, I don't see any bodies of work. There's nothing uh, I could say, yo, did you hear this or did you hear that? No. Mm-mm. It has to sound different. It can't try to be like it's imitating something what I'm hearing in America. If you're coming from Toronto, you better have something that it's even better than what's coming out in America. If you're coming from Toronto, it can't sound like something what they're doing fully. You have to have your own lane, kind of. Northside Benji, he adapted to their system, so that's why he stands out. The Crook, he has bars and he has a good flow, so he stands out. And now he has a story too. But same thing with Pressa, like it or not, and Bundog. The reason they're successful is because they went to America. They went networking. They travel other places, Dubai and shit like that, right? He goes to Dubai, Pressa and his brother and the whole crew. So those guys, people could talk whatever they want about them. Those guys are laughing because they done gone places. Think of it. They could say whatever the fuck they want because they even brought top five at a place to make him experience that shit because he didn't experience really that before. You get what I mean? These guys travel, passport. That's what I'm saying. You might not get to their level yet, but if you do a couple of those vacations, you probably will get better. You'll get in somewhere. That's what you got to do. If you really want to get in, you got to make some vacations. Or link with some people from down there, wherever you want to go in the world. That's how it works. In Toronto, we be well, not we, but most people been living off Drake, the Drake legacy, for the last whatever 10, 15 years. So now it's not enough. If you're an artist from here, a lot of you might not even want to say you're from Toronto. That's how it used to be back in the days. A lot of you are going to start to not even make people know you're from Toronto. Like back in the days, people thought a lot of people from here was from New York. So that's what's going to happen. I believe that's my advice. I think right now you could be proud, but I don't think a lot of you should even be mentioning your city. You should just rap or sing. You get what I mean? Because it's a different age right now, man. It's just different. Look, there's Drake, Tory Lanez, The Weeknd. Will there ever be another? That's the big three of Canada alone. Drake, Tory Lanez, and The Weeknd. The Weeknd's at the top of his game, and even though there's the beef with Kendrick, Drake's at the top of his game too. He's still the top pop star with The Weeknd. Tory Lanez got locked up, right? So that brought him back. But he was at the top of his shit too when he was out. When Tory Lanez was fully before all of the madness, Tory Lanez was at the top, going right where Drake was, like top rapper in America. That's where I'm getting. Tory Lanez is top rapper in America. Tory Lanez, and there's Drake, pop star rapper, and then there's The Weeknd, big pop star. So we have the big three, or whatever. We had the big three, and then there's others. So for all these years of these three successful artists coming from Ontario, and you had Justin Bieber on top of it, we should be seeing more artists going out there, especially in the market. Big, coming from Ontario, Toronto, wherever. We should be seeing more in the urban music. What's going on? They're not following the blueprint, I could say. Maybe a lot of them ain't following the blueprint, meaning they ain't investing in themselves. And when you invest in yourself, they say, oh, I paid for a lot of studio. I paid for a lot of video work and shit like that. Right? So you pay for all the studio and this video shit. But did you pay for the promo? Like you upload the music to DistroKid or wherever. Did you pay for the full package on distro, or did you just upload the thing and then it's on all digital platforms? So this is what I'm saying, especially a lot of the artists in the urban music in Toronto, a lot I feel don't really want to do, like, they love the music, but they don't really want, they're not going to sacrifice fully for the music, meaning you got to put like $1,000 into promotion. If you really want to hit something, it's like a lottery. All these digital platforms, you think it's just like that? You have to promote each platform or the main platforms. So it could be showing up on everybody's whatever phone, digital device. Maybe wherever people are on social media, your music needs to be like, promoted. Facebook, whatever, Google ads, YouTube, whatever, TikTok. But the campaign is you have to pay. And I feel Toronto artists don't get that. We're still young in the urban music. Been around for a good while, but I mean, the business side, a lot of talent. This is how I believe it's like unbalanced. There's more talent. Yes, it's good to have talent. We have great talent, but not the business side. The business side is really lacking, and, that's what we're missing. Yeah, we're missing that. Toronto, the Toronto urban music scene. We're missing that. We need more managers. We need more good promoters, and a place, right, where it's like a hub, right, for the media, for the artists to all connect with, and then we will see something change. But bless up is the Down to Earth podcast, Down to Earth Network with your host Sean Myrie. I'm out. Subscribe.